Have you ever looked at someone else's life and wished, with all your heart, that you could be them? We look at the wealthy, the powerful, the people who seem to rule the world, and we think, if only I had their strength, if only I had their position, I would finally be happy. But Eastern philosophy teaches us a dangerous truth. The desire to be someone else's is a bottomless trap. The moment you achieve what you thought was ultimate power, you will discover that there is always something stronger, always something higher. You become a prisoner of an endless cycle of envy. Today, let us explore a profound Zen story about a humble stonecutter who was granted the power to become anything he desired. What he discovered at the end of his journey will forever change how you look at your own life, your struggles, and your true worth. Deep in the ancient mountains, there lived a poor stonecutter named Kenji. Day after day, he went to the great mountain to cut blocks of stone for building. He worked very hard. His hands were calloused, and his back was weary. Yet he earned very little, and was deeply dissatisfied with his humble life. One afternoon, as he carried a heavy stone to the house of a wealthy merchant, he saw the man dressed in beautiful silk robes, surrounded by servants, drinking fine tea. Kenji sighed heavily and thought, "How powerful that merchant is. I wish I were a rich merchant. Then I wouldn't have to sweat on the mountain anymore." To his absolute amazement, a mystical voice echoed from the heavens. "Your wish has been heard. From this moment, you are the merchant." And just like that, Kenji became a wealthy merchant. He enjoyed his luxury, his fine food, and the envy of the poor. But his satisfaction did not last long. One day, a great prince passed through the street. The prince was escorted by soldiers riding beautiful horses, and crowds of people bowed deeply to the ground as he passed. Even Kenji, with all his wealth, had to bow. Kenji felt a sharp sting of jealousy in his heart. "Wealth is nothing compared to political power," he muttered. "I wish I were a prince. Then everyone would bow to me." The mystical voice spoke again. "You shall be a prince." Now Kenji was a prince. He felt invincible. But as the procession moved through the open valley, the summer heat became unbearable. The fierce sun beat down on his heavy royal robes, making him sweat and feel faint. No matter how powerful he was as a prince, he could not command the sun to stop burning. Kenji looked up at the sky, angry. "The sun is more powerful than a prince," he thought. "It rules over the earth, and even the kings must endure its heat. I wish I were the sun." And the voice answered, "You shall be the sun." Kenji became the sun. He burned proudly in the sky, scorching the fields, drying up the rivers, and demonstrating his supreme power to the world below. He felt superior to everything. But suddenly, a dark, heavy storm cloud drifted beneath him. No matter how hard Kenji shone, his rays could not pierce through the thick, dark cloud. The cloud blocked his light completely, casting a shadow over the earth. "A mere cloud can stop my ultimate power?" Kenji cried out in frustration. "The cloud is stronger than the sun. I wish I were a cloud." And the voice whispered, "You shall be a cloud." Kenji was now a great storm cloud. He poured torrential rain upon the earth, causing floods, tearing up trees, and washing away villages. He felt mighty and unstoppable. But as he blew fiercely through the valleys, he suddenly slammed into something immovable. It was a massive, ancient mountain of solid rock. No matter how hard the cloud blew, no matter how much rain it poured, the mountain stood perfectly still, proud and unchanged. Kenji realized his fury meant nothing to this giant. The mountain is the strongest thing in existence, Kenji thought, exhausted. It stands unmoved against any storm. I wish I were a mountain. And the voice said, You shall be a mountain. Kenji became the mountain. He stood tall and grand, untouched by the sun, unmoved by the storms, the most powerful entity in the world. He smiled in deep satisfaction, believing his quest for ultimate strength was finally over. But then, in the deep silence of the morning, he heard a strange sound. Clink, clink, clink. A sharp pain vibrated deep within his rocky foundation. He looked down toward the base of his mountain self. There, far below, stood a tiny, fragile human being, a humble stonecutter dripping with sweat, driving a chisel into the solid rock with a hammer. With every strike, a piece of the mighty mountain was chipped away. Kenji was filled with terror. How can this be? Something is stronger than the mountain, he cried out. I wish to be that man. And the voice spoke for the final time. Go back and be who you were. Kenji returned to being a stonecutter. He still worked hard. He still sweat under the sun. But the heavy burden of dissatisfaction was completely gone. For he finally understood the ultimate secret of existence. He was already the strongest force in the story, exactly as he was. When we live our lives constantly looking at others, we enter a toxic illusion. We compare our weaknesses to their strengths. We think if we change our job, our look, or our status, we will finally find peace. But just like Kenji, if you chase external power, you will always find a cloud to block your sun, or a mountain to stop your storm. The loop never ends because the ego is never satisfied. True strength is not about conquering others or standing above them. True strength is accepting your unique place in the fabric of the universe. The stonecutter didn't need to become a prince to be powerful. His simple, focused work possessed a strength that could move mountains. Stop looking at the illusion of someone else's sky. Empty your mind of envy, embrace your own path, and realize that the power you are searching for is already hidden within your own hands. May you find peace on your journey.